Hello and welcome back to another video on high altitude investing. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Litecoin. So let's get straight into it. We're starting off here on the daily candlesticks. And the first thing that you can see with this coin is a 5-wave structure. Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4, and our 5th wave right here. So it's no surprise that we're getting a correction here on Litecoin, pulling us back down to these lower support levels. Now, the first area that I'm kind of looking at here for Litecoin on the daily is Wave 4. So we have Wave A, Wave B, and I'm looking for Wave C to come down into Wave 4 right here, something like this. That's the first area of support where I personally think Litecoin could start to turn around here on the daily candlesticks. So watch for a reversal off of Wave 4 down on those levels. The worst case scenario I could see for this coin is a test of Wave 2 down here where we go a little bit lower, and more like a double bottom pattern if we zoom out a little bit. So that would look something more like this, where price goes all the way back down to like $74 and makes a big double bottom pattern before coming back up for the bullish movement. So yeah, we do have a 5-wave structure. An ABC correction is happening here on Litecoin on the daily candlesticks. And I do suspect a reversal down here. This should take us back up to the top of Wave 5 and kind of turn into either a big double bottom or just kind of a higher low sort of pattern where the market continues to go higher off of the bottom of Wave 4. If it goes all the way down to Wave 2, that would be more like a big double bottom. If it stops near Wave 4, that would be more like just a higher low pattern and a continuation of this short-term uptrend that we started forming right here. But overall, in the short term, I do expect us to find a reversal at some point because this will be Wave 1 and Wave 2. It's just a question of how deep Wave 2 will go, whether it stops down here or down here. But either way, I will be expecting a Wave 3 coming in this coin. This should take us quite a bit higher here on the daily candlesticks once this correction is over. So let's talk about the bigger picture. Now, if we zoom out just a little bit more, still on the daily candlesticks, but a little bit bigger picture here, we can see another Elliott wave structure here pretty quickly. Wave 1, Wave 2, Wave 3, Wave 4, and Wave 5. Then we do have an ABC correction down, Wave A, B, and C. So what could happen here based on this 5-wave structure and the ABC correction that came afterwards is a bigger picture Wave 3. So that would look like this, Wave 1, Wave 2, and we'd be going in to a bigger picture Wave 3 that will take us above our local high over here at the top of Wave 1, which coincides with the subwave 5-wave right there. So something like this is what I'm expecting in a little bit of a bigger time frame here for Litecoin. Now, of course, the top of Wave 3 is going to be above the top of Wave 1. With crypto, a lot of times you will extend to a higher extension, so it doesn't just break out above the top of Wave 1. A lot of times Wave 3, if you're zoomed out a little bit like this, will go pretty high, like you're talking about all the way up, not only a new local high, but significantly above that old local high. And then, of course, we'd get a Wave 5 for Litecoin. So you can see based on what I've been showing you, the Elliott waves does break down into major waves and subwaves. Every single time that you get a major 5-wave impulse, you also have the subwaves inside of those waves, and you can count those as well, which is why we're able to count all of the waves right here inside of a bigger picture, Wave 1 and 2, and also how we were able to count those little waves down there, which would be the subwaves of Wave 1 and Wave 2 in Wave 3. So all breaks down, there's waves inside of waves, and you're able to count those subwaves to get a better idea of what's happening in the bigger picture and in the smaller time frame as well, because it gives you an idea of what's going on in those smaller time frames. So now let's zoom way out here and talk about Litecoin on even a bigger time frame like the 15-day candlesticks, and we'll talk about what's happening here over multiple years. So here inside of the bigger time frame, the 15-day time frame, what we have going on here is a very large accumulation cycle. So really since 2017, Litecoin has been in a big big accumulation cycle. That's why we've never really seen it make a consistent, steady uptrend where it makes higher highs and higher lows and just keeps trending up like you would see inside of an established uptrend, because we've been in an accumulation cycle. That's why it pumps and then crashes really hard and then pumps again and crashes really hard again, because it's been accumulating inside of this bigger picture accumulation cycle. It really hasn't started a steady uptrend. But that's really not a bad thing. It's actually pretty common for new technologies to see these types of accumulation cycles before they start a big picture uptrend and head into more of a mass adoption type of phase, where the price of it continues to increase over time and it goes into a more sustained type of bull market. And one of my favorite examples of these accumulation patterns is Nvidia. Back in the day, if you look at Nvidia, before it started a big picture bull market and continued making higher highs and higher lows, and really got mass adopted by the public and became something a lot more people use and know about on a regular basis, it did one of these accumulation cycles. You can see the fruition of this 15-year accumulation cycle on Nvidia is a huge sustained bull market where price just continually made higher highs and higher lows and went into a proper uptrend. And that's really what's set up to happen for Litecoin, is one of these consistent, steady uptrends with higher highs and higher lows that really continues for a long time. And if you look at the similarities between these two charts, there's actually a lot of overlap in terms of market structure, in terms of volume. Both of these look very similar. You can see the volume is very high over here on Nvidia, and it's also very high over here on Litecoin, especially if you were to look at the volume across exchanges, because this is only isolated on Coinbase. But if you were to look at the volume across multiple exchanges, you'd see even more than what we see here. But there's a lot of volume here, steady, consistent accumulation by big whales and big institutions. So the fruition of this accumulation cycle should be a huge parabolic run here that doesn't just pump and then dump, but starts a sustained, steady uptrend all the way to not only a new all-time high, but continually makes higher highs and higher lows and more of a mass adoption type of cycle, which is really what crypto as a whole is set up for, is more of a sustained mass adoption cycle where price continues to increase as it's adopted by the public. We've seen two big crypto cycles so far. We had a couple others before that with Bitcoin, but really two big crypto cycles. But what we haven't seen with crypto is mass adoption. And this is the cycle where everything is set up for that type of movement, for that type of growth in the cryptocurrency markets, where they're adopted by the public and it becomes something everybody knows about and everybody uses, instead of something that just a few people are excited about and big institutions are investing in. It becomes something that everybody actually uses on a day-to-day basis. Now, what happens when something is mass adopted? It doesn't just pump and then dump and crash. The demand for that thing continually increases. And as the demand continually increases, because the need for it continues to grow, you get this huge growth inside of that industry that doesn't just stop, because the demand continually drives prices higher. And the cool thing about crypto is we have a limited supply on these coins. So as the demand continually increases for these coins, you're going to see the price go up like crazy because there's a limited supply. So with crypto, the mass adoption phase could be particularly bullish because of the limited supply and because of the demand increasing significantly as the technology of crypto is used by the general public. And if you look at what happened to the internet and computing, a very similar thing happened. There was a bubble in the late 90s where people got really excited about the internet, but then the markets crashed. But then the internet and computing went into a more mass adoption kind of cycle where the price of a lot of those stocks just went crazy. And they continually increased over time. Instead of just being in like a little bubble, they continually increased over time and went into a mass adoption cycle. And the price of those stocks just went soaring. And you can see that's really true over here with NVIDIA. Here was the internet bubble right here. Then we had another run up right here. And then NVIDIA went into a mass adoption cycle. And that's a lot like what happened over here with Litecoin. 2017 was a bubble. 2021 was kind of a bubble. And now it's really set up for a mass adoption kind of phase where the growth of this thing just goes nuts and breaks out to a new all-time high and continually makes higher highs and higher lows. The same is also true for Apple computers. You can see Apple computers have this really long, painful accumulation cycle. Then the internet bubble happened where price went crazy and a crash happened right after. And then Apple went into this huge sustained bull market where it made higher highs and higher lows and went into a proper uptrend where the price of this stock just went nuts over time and continually grew. And that's really what I see coming for the crypto markets, including Litecoin. Amazon also had a similar thing happen where Amazon had a bubble back here during the internet bubble, a big crash, and then went sideways, had another crash over here in 2008, and then it went into a proper sustained uptrend where you can see the price of Amazon.com continually increased over time with higher highs and higher lows. So that's really what I see coming for crypto is a sustained uptrend as the technology gets mass adopted by the public, as it becomes more of a household name. We're going to see growth that continues instead of just a bull market and a bear market because the demand won't go anywhere. The demand will increase as the adoption continues to take effect. It will be like a snowball effect. So that's really what I'm expecting for crypto as a whole, including Litecoin. So yeah, that's my video on Litecoin. Expect big things to come. I do expect a big bullish sustained uptrend to come for this coin. Something that really blows a lot of people away and shows people what is truly coming for crypto, because a lot of people are just not expecting what's really coming for the crypto markets. They're thinking way too small, and a big picture bull market like that with mass adoption is truly what's set up for the crypto markets. If you look at the charts, if you pay attention to big institutions, that's really what's set up here for these markets. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. I love you. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and share it with your friends. Also apply for the one-on-one coaching, link in the description box below. And I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos. As always, stay profitable out there.